is a breakdown of what we did for the year 2025, approximately 500K. I think the main reason why I wasn't able to hit like closer numbers to like 1 million was because of a lack of.
If I was in your position, instead of thinking, oh, we're gonna go to 500K to 1 million, like it's almost impossible to do that without having
Shit, I didn't know that. I think we could realistically do that. Hey guys, my name is Will Toro or Don Toro MIA on Instagram, and I own Window Warriors here in North Houston. This is a breakdown of what we did for the year 2025. Approximately 500K, or 350K was coming from windows, followed by 100K from gutters, 40K for soft wash, and approximately 10K from Christmas lights. Now, I think the main reason why I wasn't able to hit like closer numbers to like 1 million or at least $750,000, which was my goal, was because of a lack of organization of the operations and, just not having the right segmentation down right. I think that me, wearing too many hats ended up overwhelming the company and just causing like a trickle effect, right? A dominoes effect, which, trickle down to the finances, which then trickles down to jobs and needs. So,
When did you start the windows?
So I started the windows late 2020, so like really, no.
Well, 2021. So what do you go like roughly year?
2023, closer to 2023. Year after year, so first year I think we did about 250,000, the following year 350,000, this year 500.
And 500 when you're in a lot of issues.
Yeah.
We chatted a bit ahead of time and he had like a doc prepared for me. So the first thing I want to know, and for the camera, is you said you have 3 production guys and it's teams of 1, right?
Yep.
So they each have their own vehicle?
Yeah.
Or they're using their own? Okay, cool. And then your production number per guy was low. What was it?
The majority of last year is about 10,000 each.
Per guy?
Per guy.
Yeah.
Sometimes more, but if you want me to like break it down as accurate as possible, maybe closer to that 10,000 per guy.
So that's low.
Yeah.
Are they working full days or why do you think it's low right now? Where's the sales coming from these guys? What's this kind of setup for them? Because that, even if you're living middle of Kentucky, nowhere, like they should be doing at least 15. What we hold the guys to is 20. You want to be trying to get $1,000 a day per guy.
I think one reason is just like, putting too much emphasis on the doors, right? There was too much emphasis on the doors and not enough money going back into the other like channels.
Are you having them sell and clean?
I was helping sell for a while, but then I took a step from the back end and had my other business partner handle mainly the door-to-door sales while I focused on other acquisition channels, which was like a little slow start. I found pretty good luck with LSA.
So let's call this guy Jimmy. So Jimmy, when he comes in on a Monday morning, what does he have jobs on the schedule already?
Yeah. Most of the time, yes.
Do you have production targets per day for them?
Production?
Like I just said you need to be doing 1,000 a day. When they come in, are you saying, hey, you have to hit $500 a day? Is that what you say to them? Or what's their targets to be?
I mean, our goal is always get them as close to like $1,000 a day as we could, right? Granted, not every day, was like that.
We're closer to 500 right now.
Yeah. For sure. I think that's what it would average out to, right? Obviously, our goal is to push like them to each produce $1,000 a day. Obviously, that wasn't happening with each person, especially with door-to-door after the droppers pants on pricing.
Does he come in with jobs on the schedule ever?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Most of the time, I have the job scheduled for him already.
How much dollars worth? Well,
typically,
I'll simplify this here for you instead of blasting you on the spot. So if we're gonna have 3 production guys, and our goal next year, we can't be 10. I'll do our corrections in 20. We're gonna do 20K.
Okay.
So we'll just focus on one guy. So guy number 1 here, you want to have to do $1,000 per day. We need to have pre-bookings, bro. They need to be at least minimum 500 in pre-bookings per day. This is gonna be a guy Monday to Friday. He needs to have 500.
Yeah, 2,500 a week.
So he needs to have 2,500 on the schedule. It doesn't matter if he doesn't fucking close one deal. He needs to have 2,500 per week.
Including sold, yeah.
Pre-sold.
Yeah. No,
Pre-sold.
definitely not.
Right?
I guess, yeah.
They need to come in with at least 50%. And let's say guy number 3 is not as good at sales. You might want to put him at $700 per day. And if this guy's better at sales, he could be the 300 per day.
And you talking about
pre-booked on the schedule. Not leaving your HQ here and not having something on the schedule. So these guys need to have pre-sold jobs, whether it be from your past clients this like last year or your Facebook ads or Google ads or referrals. I don't care. We can talk about that later on. They need to have pre-booked jobs because that right there is going to be the same numbers you're doing last year. Put it this way, you could go and get rid of your sales guys. If you're paying them 10 or 50, whatever you're paying them percentage-wise, put that into ads and then have these guys upsell because these guys going with a pre-sale and then them upselling on site as a production guy is higher value than having sales guys that go out and can only sell 500. And you can play with with these numbers, like let's say guy number 3, he has 0 social skills. This guy's purely production, and then this guy could be a hybrid, like production, and he can upsell, right? He only needs to upsell. He's gonna go in with $500 pre-book. He only needs to upsell.
Yeah, I think
a gutter cleaning and then a neighbor, and he's at 1,000, right? And then you could send this guy out at least with something pre-booked with the sales guy. The sales guy has to sell 3 more jobs, and there's your $3K per guy. First thing is figuring out numbers per guy, and that is going to come from having them set up for success, which is obviously, I know you're good at SOPs, I don't have that on my list here for you, but having them, they have to have pre-booked. Number 2, and this is like a higher level thing as well, is growth versus profit. So you have to just kind of sit down together today and figure out what you want to do. Because you guys can go out this year, instead of going, oh, we're going to go do $1 million or 750, you can say, hey, we're going to go do 600K, but keep
300.
Yeah, well, 25% would be good. Like keeping 200 to 300 would be incredibly good. Like that'd be.
I think we could realistically do that.
And it's the same thing that I did. I did my like 550K year. I went at the end of the year, my account's like, bro, you made more money, like you said, 2 years ago when I was at 300K. And that's like, okay, do I either A, downsize, which I'm happy I didn't, or B, put some systems in place. So we did 550, then it was like 620, which was like our slowest growth year ever. We focused purely on making profits, because to go from 5 or 6 to $1 million, you're gonna need someone that's sitting there, non-revenue generating employee, that's answering the phones and doing the admin and all that.
That's the VA handling, like human tasks that automations can't handle.
Yeah, so, because you can't go too heavy on, I know you like that stuff, the automations, the office work, if the production's not keeping up. If I was in your position, instead of thinking, oh, we're gonna go to 500K to 750K, or I know you said $1 million, like it's almost impossible to do that without having some cash reserves or a loan or something. If you try to grow too fast and don't have your numbers dialed, you're eventually gonna have to take steps back. So instead of going, okay, we're gonna go crush $1 million, I would go in and say, hey, we're gonna do 600K this year. If we can go and pull 200K profits, and you go into 2027 with money in the bank, now we can scale to $1 million without losing it all.
When you're thinking about keeping the lights on, you can't focus. You're keeping yourself alive and not scaling.
Yeah, that's exactly what you're doing. And then number 3 is an org chart, and this could take a long time. This is, again, you two sitting down with this whiteboard. But let's say last year, let's do a rough one right now. You had what, 3 production guys? Who else did we have on here?
Then we had me, Edgar, and Jordan. And then for like a month and a half, we had some salesmen do a quick blitz for a very little while.
I know you're not going to know the
These people did strictly doors. Strictly doors, strictly cleaning, hybrid.
Okay, so hybrid. So
well, I'm not cleaning. When I say hybrid, like between knocking and backing and stuff.
Okay, so, and again, I was going to go through, ask the question, but I know you're not going to know the answers to it. So right now, it sounds like, oh, this guy's sales, oh, he's hybrid, this guy's this. Like, so if you're communicating with this guy here, he goes to you, these two go together, like, that's a disaster. Like, that's what it sounds like you guys are doing, right?
Yeah. We're doing.
It makes 0 sense. So what you guys need to figure out,
there's a lot of overlapping, yeah.
You guys need to do this on like this whiteboard, or like you can do a whiteboard on Canva, like I know you're like messing around on the computer. You need to sit down and say, okay, but you guys need to go through and think, okay, cool, so what needs to happen? The meta ads have to go on, we have to have the door-to-door guys manage,
SEO back on point,
paying the guys,
reviews close at SEO.
So we'll put that under sales,
contracts,
/upsells,
recurring.
Let's put customer service on here, big relationships, which is something that's important if we want to go to $1 million next year.
I do have a list of builders we started getting at to reach out to them.
What does it do? Good jobs, right? Good production, we'll call it.
What do you mean?
Like making sure the jobs are actually done well.
Oh yeah.
So these guys' jobs, make sure the jobs are clean. Maybe you'll have them as cleaning the jobs, doing an upsell, and then end of day report. How many jobs they did, blah, blah, blah. Cool. But you can't have the same thing we were showing earlier, all of the fucking crossover. But what you need to go do, this should be like this, bang, okay? And then if you want to get filled in on production, okay, you'd be like, oh, question, production. That goes like this. You two can chat about production, absolutely, but you should not be, if this guy's not showing up, that's not, yo, where are you, man? Let me find a replacement. That's Jordan's fault, right? If these sales guys are going out and not selling, right? So this would be your guys.
That's my fault.
That's your fault, okay? And then we said, okay, cool, you also said you want to do some of the SEO, the meta ads, not getting enough leads, that's your fault, and you need to map out who's in charge of who and who's in charge of what. If you're saying everyone's hybrid, doesn't work. Number 4, pay for performance. This would be a hard one to get in. I know you guys switched to hourly, and this is again a numbers thing. You need to figure out how to pay these guys, either ideally based off the jobs they complete, or again, you're gonna have a hybrid. You need to sit down and figure out how you're gonna do that.
But once again, we're talking about a technician right here.
Technician,
Oh.
technician, and the sales guys, but mainly your technician.
Right.
This is gonna be a hard one to do now because you need to know your numbers a bit and what you're gonna do. There needs to be something incentivizing for them. Ideally, it's clean, but you can make it as simple as upsells.
They make a lot of money from it.
Like they have a certain amount, like whatever, $25 per hour for the jobs you clean. Anything you sell, you still get $25 an hour, plus you get 10% of the job. Number 5, marketing, and this is one that'll be a hard one to get into. What percentage of those sales are going to come from where, and what are we going to put our
We
budget
should
on?
put a previous client as well.
Okay, good, like that.
Referrals, 2 through referrals down.
You can go upsells if you want.
Okay, so I'd say we want at least 100, 50K coming from previous clients, I'd say.
Should be higher than that. Did you say
200?
200, yeah.
Damn, that's hard as fuck. Meta. I want to really double down on Meta. Even though LSA has a slightly higher tint, Meta's cheaper, I think, per lead.
Yeah, it's gonna be, again, that's what I was talking, all this stuff I was talking in the pod today. If you have someone answering the phone and is good on the phone, this will be better. But if you're not answering the phone, Meta's better because it's cheaper. It's obviously lower quality, but it's good for someone that's super busy because you can answer the message when you get home. But if you're doing that stupid thing, running on site and doing this and doing that and then miss a phone call,
then
you're throwing money in the garbage.
Okay. How much do you think we're trying to push through Meta?
100K would be good.
You need to sit down after this and figure out
Ideally, what?
where are these jobs going to come from and how much you're willing to spend on each one. If I told you right now, you're going to spend $200 per job you close. By the time you pay your labor, you're losing money.
Yeah.
But if you know that they're going to get them on a quarterly or they can upsell a gutter cleaning, you're in the green.
Which, if it's most likely, like marketing channel, it's going to be LSA, where we close like most of our service plans.
Right now.
Just bigger homes, like more.
But
You need to figure out how much you can spend, how much you want to either A, spend to make a profit on those sources, or B, how much you're willing to lose. Because
I'm willing to like
Uber, and then when they launch their companies, they lose money for a long time because they're burning venture capital.
I know
right? You don't want to go into that mode when you're at this stage right now. So you need to figure out, okay, because again, if I told you, yo, Will, you're on the front end, you're going to lose $50 by the time you pay your labor, but out of every 10, they're going to upsell 8 of them, and you're going to make $150. That's profit. If I said, well, give me $200 right now, I'll give you $350 back.
I finally started tracking that, like my CAC.
You need to track that, yeah.
It's $178 right now, CAC, and then $38 per lead.
Okay, that's good. That's good. See, those are good numbers to know, right? So marketing, so this is marketing/sales in that same one. Yeah, again, that's good that you're knowing your cost per lead. Awesome. And then a lot of home service guys don't know to go do their customer acquisition costs. The next level down from that, okay, cool, it's costing me $150 to close a deal, and we're charging on average $250. By the time I pay my guys, how much is actually profit?
Cost of goods and services.
Yes. So let's say you're profiting $50 per one. Cool, that's better than 0, right? And then if they can upsell, like I was telling you guys earlier, something on site or get them on a service agreement, that's going to help your revenue per client, profit per client go through.
And even more than that, but I mean, since our technician do such a good job,
you guys don't know your
we
LTV
do
right?
upsells. Lifetime value?
Of each client, how much you spend a year?
I mean, we have a pretty good LTV, you can say.
Put it this way, I'm going to make $0 by the time I pay the guys, my expenses, everything, but I know 90% comes back and spends $250 next year. You're making money. But if you're like, yo, I'm making $0 this year and then only 10% comes back, you're still technically growing, but you're making $10 a year on a client.
Yeah, I'd say more than 10%'s come back for sure. Because if we're talking about one job, like one-off jobs, I'd say that we rarely have someone say fuck up. I'll have people say, call me in spring, call me in 3 months and stuff like that, and then they start adding on a few chunks of them. I would say no less than like 25, 30%? Because I mean, that's who's been keeping us alive for the last couple of months is recurring clients.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, so
I'd say
when you said earlier 150, that's where you guys like kind of have like a guesstimate, but you need to know. Because I said, hey, if you give me $100,000 right now for customers, you're gonna lose 10 grand, but next year every single one of them are gonna come back, and you're not gonna spend any money on ads. You're gonna get all that money next year. You go, okay, cool, I can float it till next year. But if you know, hey, I'm gonna spend all that money on customers, and then out of the $100,000 that I spent that was work last year, but I'm only getting $105,000, would you want to wait 12 months for 5 grand? No.
No.
Would you wait 12 months to know you're gonna get each job is $250, 250 grand? Yes.
Yeah, because I'm really trying to push to a recurring, so I'm not chasing. Like you said, these next years, I'm really like pushing these people to stay with me. Contracts sometimes is a little takes a little
hey, yeah, no worries. I know you want to wait till the spring, but let's get you on a recurring agreement right now. Currently, we're running a promo that you get 10% off for your recurring cleans or your first cleaning is free when you sign up for a quarterly plan. You need to think of something, because there's no incentive for them to make a decision now. Why would they want to make a decision now? For example, they spent $1,000 last year for Christmas lights. Hey, you like the work? Yeah, awesome, super good. It was awesome. Are you gonna do it next year? Yeah, for sure. Okay, cool. Well, just letting you know, if you can decide now for next year and you want to prepay, you save 20%. And then they went 6 for 8.
Oh wow.
Prepaid jobs.
Really?
They collect like
They paid a
6
whole
for 8.
year before?
Well, why not? When you're saving, if you like the job and you know you're gonna get it anyways, why wouldn't you?
Shit, I didn't know that. So now I can just come back and be like, yo, $200 cheaper. Just
Well,
give
no,
you
I wouldn't.
now.
I wouldn't go and discount the service unless you were desperate for cash flow. What you go and do on the removal is like, hey, listen, did you know we also do window cleaning? Just as a thank you for doing the Christmas lights, we're offering you an incentive. If you sign up for a quarterly plan, your first clean is free. So you need to always have an incentive for someone to make a decision quick. So next steps here. So first off, it's a whiteboard day for you guys, big time. You need to go in, and this one should be easy to solve.
Yeah.
You need to have pre-booking is key.
It just comes back to money.
No more hoping and praying.
That's
You have 5,000 people that's hitting your customer base. You should be able to start selling out 3 weeks in advance, and then always keeping something in the tank so these guys are.
I should. That's like I should. Like it all sounds like middle paper. I should be able to.
So they're doing between a text blast, and I know you guys are. Some people are afraid of the phone, but like if I want something done, if I want to sell something, I'm picking up my fucking phone. Goal first profit. Again, that's a conversation between you two, but I'd highly try to put 200K profit in the bank. Again, conservatively. Org chart. Sit down. Who's doing what? Who's hybrid? What is the chain of command? We cannot have a freaking going on. It's never gonna work.
Yep.
Pay for performance. This will not be perfect, so I'd be flexible with that because you're not gonna know until you get going a bit. But have some sort of incentive, and then bi-weekly, and then that stuff major review. We'll send the recordings. You guys can break that down. Again, it's not a perfect science. You need to have a rough idea. Like if you're gonna be sitting at the office, like in Google Ads are the highest intent. Anytime that phone rings, like you should be closing them. People don't pick up the phone and be like, yo, hey, like do you guys have sushi buffet? Okay, cool. Do you have sushi buffet? Okay, cool. Do you have sushi buffet? Cool.
Yeah, that's my.
And then go in 2 weeks.
Right.
That's not when. Have you ever went on Google and looked up something for the future? If you ever feel like it? No.
No.
You do that on Facebook, you're scrolling and it comes across. Okay, cool, that's completely different. But someone does not type in window cleaning and then think, oh, well, that's cool. I'm probably going to call them in a month and get my windows done. Anyone that gets off of a Google call that's not closed means you lost the deal. We'll wrap this one up. We give a shout out to your Grams or because you look at the sales guys. What are you guys looking for?
Yeah, I mean, I'll say sales reps and technicians and sales managers. I want someone who can come and run the team and get paid really well for it.
Okay, what's their Instagram?
Instagram's Don Toro MIA. Then also on YouTube, same thing, Don Toro MIA.
Sweet. And I'll post this and I'll tag you and then see what comes. Good luck, guys. Just reach out.
Sounds good.